Good evening, my friends. Welcome to another edition of Flashpoint Radio. I'm your host, Jay-Z. This evening we'll be talking about, again, Iran, because it is first and foremost on my radar screen. We'll be talking about some privacy issues, Google, some tech news, and then we may be able to get into some other issues. I'm not sure if we'll have time. But again, Flashpoint Radio, coming to you live from St. Louis. You're wondering why Flashpoint Radio? Well, I don't know, because I thought of it one day and I decided to go with it. But what I'm trying to do here is just get you to look at current events and things going on in the world that might eventually affect your life. Look for the flashpoint, the spark that sets the fire that will eventually reach your backyard. So we're going to hop right in it this evening with some news on the Iranian front. We talked about this twice already this week. I really don't want to focus so much on one topic, but I really think things are escalating and we may be looking at some world-changing events coming up very soon. As you know, on Monday, the European Union, 27-member European Union, applied an embargo on Iran. A halt to all new contracts and existing contracts will be over in July of oil trade with Iran. Iran came back with their constant threat to close the Strait of Hormuz, and we get these other articles that we have today. You've got on yesterday, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, president of Iran, said he's ready to revive talks with world powers regarding regarding Iran's nuclear power program. No date has been set, but he seems to have interest in settling the situation down. This also says, this Yahoo News article also says that their demands include to continue enriching uranium. They feel that they need nuclear power for peaceful purposes, and Western powers and others don't believe that is true. So you've got Ahmadinejad making inroads with people to try to show that he's willing to go to the table, and on the next day you have Ehud Barak. He's one of Israel's defense ministers, was speaking, I believe, in Davos at the financial conference in Europe. Yeah, the World Economic Forum in Davos, and he's basically saying that they're running out of time to strike Iran. He states that they believe that their enrichment program is entering an immunity zone where they would be forced to hold off on a strike due to logistical purposes. So he's putting a gas pedal on the accelerator, so to speak. And in response to that, you have Iran today releasing a statement saying that they're calling a special session of the Iranian parliament on Sunday to vote on an embargo against Iranian oil exports to the European Union. They state that it's kind of, I'll play your game, so to speak. It may be a veiled threat and a hollow threat, but this comes to us from The Telegraph out of England, and it says if Iran carried out this threat, it would definitely affect Greece, Spain, and Italy. Most importantly, Greece, Spain, and Italy account for 80% of Iran's exports to the European Union. So they would be dealing a blow to three countries that are already on the ropes economically and socially, and it may cause further chaos in the European Union. I don't think anybody wants to see that. So we've got that. And on the same vein, you've got Iran and China's trade soaring to $45 billion. it showed a $16 billion increase over last year. So we've got Iran trading heavily with China and doing a majority of their commerce with China. So you would tend to think that China would have a vested interest in continuing that trade. So you have to keep that in the back of your mind when you're talking about getting us into a world war. And some breaking news that I just came across before hitting record on this, involving the United States' possible involvement in the Iranian crisis, is headline: Washington Post, Navy wants commando mothership in the Middle East. And it says, quote, the Pentagon is rushing to send a large floating base for commando teams to the Middle East. It's being dubbed the mothership. It could accommodate smaller high-speed boats, helicopters, many different units of Navy SEALs and other elite forces, regular grunts. This is basically the largest staging ship ever put to sea. It's a reconditioned older ship, but so yeah, it looks like the Pentagon is looking to send more of our sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, over to the Middle East. This all comes as Israel as well, quote, senses bluffing in Iran's threats of retaliation. New York Times report here. So Israel thinks Iran's bluffing. Iran says, don't make us call your bluff, or don't call our bluff. I don't know what to think. It's something to watch, definitely. But with them meeting on Sunday on a possible ban on Euro exports of oil, I would say we'd know something by the middle of next week if this is going to escalate or stay even, or maybe even de-escalate, which is descalate, I believe. So that's what we've got on the Iranian front. I wanted to touch on a few tech issues that I've been watching. As you know, the House and the Senate have been working on the SOPA and the PIPA, the Internet Privacy Acts, that are basically battle acts that can shut down the internet at any time with one fell swoop. No pinpoint accuracy. They just want to take out large chunks of people who are doing things that they deem aren't in the best interest of the whole. So we've got that fight, as you know. It's going back and forth, a lot of protests, a lot of websites going black last week. And one of the things I had noticed was Mega Upload, which is a large online server farm. They're basically a digital storage realm that stores music and movies and other data. They raided the owner a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and put him in jail. And everyone just assumed that it came because of a privacy issue or because of copyright violations, since that was the news of the day and the news of the time. But what if it was just all a ruse? This comes to us from TechCrunch. Was Mega Upload targeted because of its upcoming Megabox digital jukebox service? I had thought about this a while back. Basically what Mega Upload is saying is, hey artists, you don't really need the record companies anymore if you've got another route to market, if you have another way to distribute your intellectual property. With everything being in the digital age, we don't need people to print up CDs and tapes and records anymore. We can just put it all online directly. So I like to call it the artist-based model, or talent-owned media, where the person with the real talent, the person that is engaging consumers with what they had to bring, they're the ones that garner the most amount of money. So Mega Upload was set to launch this service called Megabox which was basically a online clearinghouse, online record store to compete with all the other online record stores. The difference was Mega Upload or Mega Box would give artists 90% of all profits. I don't know about you, but I don't think Warner Brothers is paying 90% to all their top acts. So I think it would have been, I think it is and could be a very large threat to a large establishment force that's beating down on the American and the world population, namely the entertainment industry. Not only were they going to give artists 90% of their take, they were also going to pay artists to allow your music to be downloaded for free, which basically flies in the face of everything the government and Metallica has to say, that they won't make any money, when in actuality the internet and World Wide Web and file sharing has made artists richer today than ever before. It's also made a lot of money for the record company and the promotion companies. So Mega Upload was a threat to the establishment. Therefore, they raided them with their globalist armies. And finally, we've got this coming about Google, our boss Google, where you're watching this video, YouTube, owned by Google. Can't get away from Google. This comes to us from Computer World. Google says privacy change won't affect government users. How convenient. Google releases a new statement of privacy or terms of agreement for all its users just earlier this week, changing a bunch of the data farming techniques that they use and things that they can take hold of and use. That is your personal information, your browsing information, searching information. Google said that that's changing. They're going to do it, of course, to make your browsing experience that much better, but we all know that it's so they can data mine our personal lives and sell that information to private and government forces that would use it to harm us or to hold it against us. Go figure. But in a statement, Google said that the new policy would not change existing contracts that define how it handles and stores data belonging to government users of cloud service. So you government employees and you government agencies, you don't worry, you can do what you want. You and Google have a special agreement. But us normal consumers and us taxpayers, the people who pay your salary, we don't get any say in it. They can spy all day on us because we, after all, could be Al-Qaeda. I have been called Al-Qaeda many times for questioning things that I see with my own eyes. I'm branded a terrorist along with Ron Paul and all of the other terrorists out there, Alex Jones and anyone fighting for liberty. If you're fighting for the Constitution in its total form, if you're fighting for the Constitution as it was written and not change it, you're an extremist and you should probably call your representative and ask where to turn yourself in, or at least where you can sign away your rights. I think we should start a petition and say, I'll just give my rights. I'll sign them away to you, senators and congressmen. You can have my rights. Just don't let those dirty terrorists come get me in Peoria, Illinois and St. Charles, Missouri. Wake up, people. We're not at threat from these threats. We're at threat from things in our own lives. And who is in our lives more than anybody else at any point in our history? An overreaching federal government. So watch out for that. Be prepared. Look for the flashpoints. Look up all the articles that I said. Anything that I tell you. Look it up. Check on me. Check my facts. I make mistakes daily, just as the president said he did earlier this week. So check up on me. Remember, follow us at Flashpoint Radio on Twitter. Send me some messages. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. Give me some story ideas, anything you have in your mind or tips. If you've seen something, especially locally, I like to focus on local issues that we can change. Let me know. We'll get the information out there one way or another. So for another edition of Flashpoint Radio, I'm Jay-Z. signing off.